My dear students, myself Acharya Yogeshwar from Saraswati Vidya Mandir, Dr. Hedgewar Nagar, Bargut Sina Bithia. I am present here in the classes of biology for class 9, and this time we shall study of hierarchy of classification. What is meant by hierarchy? In fact, hierarchy is a system of classification. It is a systematic and logical way of classification in which we make groups of organisms, smaller, larger, more larger, and the largest group. How do we do so? As we have studied just in the previous period about the basis of classification, and we have studied basically two bases: structure and function, organization and physiology, and the third one is behavior, that comes under physiology. When we classify all the living organisms, we study first the structure and organization of the cell. Then we study about the organization of the body if the organism is multicellular. Then we study about the physiology, and in physiology the most important thing in the physiology is nutrition. And at last we study about the phylogenetic relationship that relates one group to another. We can understand hierarchy in another way. For example, if you have an opportunity to go to a foreign country, just like now you are in USA, and someone asks you which country do you belong, what is your nationality, where have you come from, what will be your answer? You have come from India, you are an Indian, you are a Bharati, you have come from Bharat. Now you come in Bharat and you are in Tamil Nadu, and then you are asked there, where have you come from? Then what will be your answer? Then I'm sure you will say you have come from Bihar. Now suppose you are in Purnia district, in Purnia town, and then you are asked, where have you come from? What will you answer? Yes, you will say you have come from Paschim Champaran. And when you are in Paschim Champaran, but now you are in Valmiki Nagar, or in Dhanha, and there you are asked, where have you come from? What will be your answer? No doubt you will say you have come from Betia. Now you are wondering, in Betia, and your house is, your home is in New Colony Betia, you are in Lal Bazar, then someone asks you, where have you come from? Your answer will be New Colony. When you arrange all these places, Bharat, Bihar, Paschim Champaran, Betia, New Colony, these areas, these places indicate your address. In the same way, hierarchy of classification indicates different groups, larger and smaller groups of organisms that indicate the address of the organism, that is, which group they belong. The hierarchy of classification is defined as hierarchy is a system of classification into which taxonomic categories or groups are placed in order of logical sequence. That is, this classification is completely logical. It is based on evidences. It is based on characteristic similarities and differences. And these are kingdom, phylum or division. Class, order, family, genus, species. Kingdom is the largest group of organisms. As we categorize, we classify all the matter in living and non-living matter. All the living matters have been classified in kingdoms. In the beginning, only two kingdoms were made. In Bharat, there are two groups, Sthavar and Jangam. Sthavar, that's all the living organisms which stay at a fixed place throughout their lives, just like trees, plants. And the other category, other group, Jangam, that is those which move, those which do locomotion. They are called Jangam. In West, the two categories were made by Aristotle, a well-known philosopher. Plants and animals. But later, the scientists who studied further about more and more organisms, they categorize all these organisms in 5 kingdoms. About them we shall study later. But one thing is clear, that is kingdom is the largest hierarchical level, it is the largest group of organisms. These kingdoms or a single kingdom is further divided in smaller groups, and those are known as phylum in case of animals and division in case of plants. So after that, this phylum or this division are further divided in smaller groups. Those are called class. Classes are further subdivided in orders. Orders are subdivided in families, and those families are further divided in genus. That is a special type of organism found, and those genus are divided in species. For example, I am writing the classification of an organism, an animal, that is human beings. That if we want to classify ourselves, then what will be the classification? That is classification of human being: kingdom, Animalia; phylum, Chordata; class, Mammalia; order, primates; family, Hominidae; genus, Homo; species, sapiens. So we are Homo sapiens. We are the modern man. Our species is sapiens. Sapiens. And something is wrong here. Our species sapiens. Genus is Homo. Family is Hominidae. We come from a larger group, the primates. That is order primates. Class is Mammalia. Phylum is Chordata. But when we are classifying, and in many cases, when kingdom is very large, then the whole kingdom is divided in sub-kingdoms also. When phylum is very large and there are many variations, then we classify phylum in subphylums. Sometimes there is an upper level of order, that is superorder. There is a lower order, is suborder. such hierarchical levels are found. If we study any member of kingdom Animalia, if we study any animal, just like human being, just like a crow, just like a leech, just like a mosquito, then we get a specific knowledge about all animals. It means some characteristics are common among all animals. Those similarities make a group of animals. If we study about a fish or a frog or a bird or a reptile, any snake, a crocodile, then we have a specific knowledge about all chordates, because all these are the member of phylum Chordata. If we study about monkeys, apes, gorilla, human beings, any of them, we have a specific knowledge about primates. So, this way of classification makes the study easier. Otherwise, we all will finish the whole life or will spend the whole life, but we could not study about these different types of animals. In the same way, we classify plants. Later, in next periods, we shall study about the different hierarchical levels. We study about different kingdoms. We shall study how scientists made 5 kingdoms instead of 2 kingdoms. What are the characteristic features of these 5 kingdoms? Then we shall study a little details of different members or different hierarchical levels under those kingdoms. Today, your work is what is meant by hierarchy, on what basis these hierarchical levels are made. And you shall study. I have used the term you shall study, not you will study. You shall study the hierarchy of classification, line by line, word to word in your textbook, and you can study the side books, but study first the textbook. If you have problems, note down and then ask. Thank you. Have a nice day. Best of luck.